Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the beginning of another Sim Racing Alliance season. It's been a long break, and we're back for Season 8. This is going to be the Division 1 race tonight. I'm joined by my co-host, Josh Damiani. How are you feeling tonight, Josh?
Doing great. ready for another night of some awesome D1 racing. Like you said, it's been quite a long break, and I think you, me, and everybody involved with tonight's action is super excited to get going.
Oh yeah, couldn't agree more. I'm actually thrilled. It's like I've got the pre-race jitters, and our race isn't even till tomorrow. I'm
Yeah, I
so
feel
excited.
that there.
We are just now getting quali started. So before that, we'll go ahead and pull up the track map. Get a little walkthrough of this guy going with. What do you think of this track? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you love it?
Well, the track itself, I don't mind. I definitely prefer the new layout, but since we don't have that tonight, we've got a lot less banking and a lot more room to try and find some grip, so to speak. It's a lot harder to find the correct line in some of these corners. You really got to be precise. Turn 14 is pretty much a one line goes, trying to stay flat out through that corner. It's really going to be a battle of trying to figure out where you can make overtakes here. Turn 1 obviously with the big straightaway, but through the corners of sectors 1, 2, and 3, there's not really any room to try and make something happen.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. It's like they say, it's a what do they say? It's a Dutch Monaco. Not a whole lot of space for overtaking. Quality is going to be incredibly important tonight, as is the ability to just hold your line and kind of defend well.
Completely agree. Judging off of the practice race last night, it was something like 1 second was 30 drivers, and that's across two divisions. So it should be an extremely tight session here tonight. And yeah, with the lack of ability to overtake, it's an umpth degree of importance to qualify high here.
Yep. And speaking of overtaking, I would say, even though there's not a lot of availability for it on this track, there are a few spots, those being primarily turn 1 and turn 3, as well as turn 10 and turn 9 might give some options. We'll see in the race, though.
Agreed, agreed. Why don't we take a look over at the qualifying session? These silver drivers are just starting to accordion themselves up at the end and get ready to get flying here.
Let's do exactly that. First couple of silver guys are out, just now starting their laps, as you can see. Let's see who's up front there. Looks like it might be Robinson, so let's join him for a lap.
Yeah, Robinson's going to be the first of these drivers to set a lap here. Coming through Sector 1 to the ever-blind Turn 7. Very fast downhill right-hander. I think that's probably the hardest corner here. If not, it's the following right-hander he's about to go through. An
Yep.
inside curb. You really want to use it, but slightly too much, and it ends you.
Yep, I fully agree. Both of those corners are going to be extremely difficult, not only for, hot lapping in quali like this, but, if you get distracted in the middle of a race and you mess one of those corners up, it could spell disaster for you.
The one thing that's nice to see this season, as we get the quick look at all the cars here down to P23 on the leaderboards, is the variety in car choice. A little bit less of a Ferrari spec series. Lambos and McLarens topping out the mix at 6 and 5 teams apiece. But we do have Ferraris, Audis, Mercedes, Porsche, and we do have a couple BMWs in the mix as well.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see with I would say no true clear meta. Every car having the ability to pop up at the top. What's really going to stand ahead?
Yeah, we're going to find out, but I'll echo that sentiment that I'm thrilled that we're not essentially in another Ferrari Cup adjacent style season here. It is good to see some more familiarity in some other cars back on track, even though quite a bit is going to be McLaren and Lamborghini. It's nice that it's not just one car, and I also think there are some new faces in there. Like the fact that we have BMWs on track is pretty awesome. AMGs as well.
Well, I'd like to put my hand up in the direction of the resurgence of the Audi. I mean, a few people took a look at, I believe it was I don't know if it was the Go or the Coach Dave Academy tables for fastest laps, and apparently the Audi, if you could drive it, was the fastest car.
Oh yeah, the Audi's up
So
there. And we've
we got Danny Durant, Brooker Quigg in the silver class, Jeremy Mercer, Gomer Wilson in the gold class. A lot of capable drivers. It'll be interesting to see if those things actually perform.
Yeah, the Audi very well might be the sleeper pick here, and I wouldn't be surprised if it won some races this season. Travis Robinson still stacking the top of the timesheets right now with the 35-1. I think
Danny
he very
Durant.
well. Go ahead.
No, I was saying Danny Durant jumps himself up 5/10. I was saying just talking about the Audis and making their presence up towards the top 10. Still got a little bit of time to find. Turn 1. I don't know how you have felt with practicing here, but turn 1 has been very hard to master.
Oh,
Easy to go quick, but hard to do correct.
Yeah, every time I take that corner fast, it's like, how did I do that? What did I do right this time? It's almost like one of those corners that just feels like a RNG check.
Just a little bit.
As we were talking, we saw Sparks go from 12th to 4th by improving by almost half a second. Parimba here's on a bit of a flyer as he has 4/10 on his Delta, and he's only 4/10 off pole, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens here in the next 30 seconds for him.
Dan Good as well in the picture-in-picture, currently up 4.5 tenths, just 5.5 off pole. Gets a great drive out of the hairpin.
Parimba's doing the final corner now. He's still only 4/10 down, and I think he's going to be happy as he crosses the line here.
As is Dan Good. I don't know if it'll be too long.
Dan Good takes pole. Back to back, only 0.08 separating those guys.
Funny enough, that was the same split from pole to P2 in the Division 1 half of quali last night.
Nice, I believe it.
That's wild though. In the last 3-4 corners there, Dan's Delta was just jumping up like crazy, and I don't know, I think that kind of sums up this track. Like, you can really carry a lot of speed in some quarters. You can get the car to hook up well, but it's really about the exit.
Oh yeah. Know exactly what you mean. Booker Quigg just crossed the line, made a decent improvement. Something fun's happening is we're not seeing a lot of green on the track deltas at the moment.
Yeah, everyone's starting to level out a little bit. Some drivers still finding time. Nordstrom and Robinson, a few tenths each.
Yeah, speaking of those guys, Nordstrom's about to be happy as he crosses the line and takes back pole. Following shortly behind him, we've got Nordstrom, who's also in the green, but not quite as green, as he's going to cross and move up just one position. Michi's now just 300ths off of Robinson, and he's got green on his Delta. Still a long lap to go for him, but we're going to be checking in on that shortly, I believe.
Looks like Brooker has called an end to his qualifying session. Either not enough fuel, not enough time, or knows he's not going to improve any more than that.
Might have messed up his tires, or maybe had an off-track excursion or something as well.
Very possible. Very tight split though, 7.5 tenths.
Yep. I was just going to comment, even the quote-unquote slow guys here, I say quote-unquote because nobody here is slow, but even them, only being 7 tenths off kind of a blistering time that Robin set is super impressive.
Dan Cran has gone into the crowd. I think he's disconnected from the server. That's a shame.
Yeah, that is a shame. He's, at least he might have time to come back and take his place back. See. I see CJ Meeks, a new entry in Division 1 here in SRA, has some green on his Delta for the moment.
He does. And as he achieves that green, the silver session has ended. As you can see in the end of that picture there, all the gold drivers are starting to file out now. So anybody who's currently out can finish their lap time, but now the second 10 minutes of qualifying is allotted specifically for the gold half of the division.
Yep. And CJ Meeks moved up to P6 in his class. I think he was P8 or P9 before crossing the line there, so he won out pretty well there at the end of his qualifying. And here's one of the last silvers on track. Poremba was green, but it looks like he lost it there, and I believe that's turn 9 or turn 10. And doesn't look like he'll improve. We've also still got Bray crossing over right now. He's going to improve by 5 positions. That's going to be the last of the improvements for silver.
Very solid. Very solid. These guys are one split above, 2 splits above me, but a 35.5 being the slowest time for D1 silver. Like, I think that's the fastest time I can muster without a good amount of time in the seat. Like, what?
Right.
That's very quick.
It's pretty impressive. So we'll go ahead and join the golds as they are starting their flying laps. Looks like leading the pack is going to be Griffith, so let's follow him for the lap. And that track seems to improve just wildly. They are moving significantly quick at the moment.
Yeah, these gold drivers are coming out, putting their foot straight through the floor on their very first laps here. Even though, as we all know from doing our laps, it does take about 1 lap to really get the tires into the working temperature. So I think that's just kind of getting the brain awake and warming them up as best as you can. Chill cut in the picture-in-picture, getting right to the edge of the white lines already.
Using the whole track, man. Doing exactly what he should be.
Paid for the track, I'm gonna use the track.
Just not the grass portions, or the sand portions.
Agreed.
Or the walls.
Ross Chastain wants to know your location.
True. Griffith invalidated his lap on his first go, so let's switch over to Mercer. See what he's got crossing the line. Slotting in right on the bottom with that fast lap. And we see some of the golds trickling into the leaderboards. None of them up top just yet. Check out Matt Lehman for the rest of his flying lap. See where he ends up.
Take this opportunity as we're flying around in some isolated cameras to appreciate all the new liveries this season. We saw in the livery reveal stream on Saturday everybody's wonderful creations, but my god, did they look great out on the track.
Oh yeah, I really like it. They look like race cars this season.
Look at this thing. I didn't see this in the stream. I must have missed it, but very nice. AMG from Stallworth, and I'm going to assume Marquez is his teammate.
Yeah, that AMG in the picture-in-picture is just fantastic. I think we saw it, but I'm fully confident in saying that. Speaking of Marquez, he's moving fast. Let's see what he's got going on. He's got about half a minute left on his lap. And he is looking very green at the moment. Still, none of the golds have broken into the top 9, but I have a feeling that's about to change as their tires are getting warmed up. They're getting used to the track.
Yeah, the green deltas are starting to get bigger and bigger. Spangler in picture-in-picture crossing the line up 4/10. Brings himself to 12th. Kerstetter in the background brought himself up to 6th.
Kerstetter is going to be one to watch tonight as he is one of the quick boys here. Marquez went up into 19th, and he's just under half a second behind pole.
The other driver that a lot of people are turning their eyes towards tonight is a new driver amongst the field, number 956 of Mia Rose. Rumor around the paddock is they've got an elite pedigree of championships under their belt. So it'd be interesting to see how that car favors throughout the race. But good luck and welcome.
Oh yeah.
And to
Welcome
all
in, Mia.
that I haven't recognized.
Welcome everybody. A new challenger approaches.
It's always nice when there's new challengers in the field.
Oh yeah. Griffith takes pole. Happened to be watching him, and he pulls off and just decides he's gonna sit in the pits after taking pole. No, he's gonna come back out. But who else do we got? We've got Spangler crossing right now. He's gonna improve massively to P2. Not quite enough to take pole, but still a really big jump. Sure, he's not gonna be too upset with that.
No, not at all. I mean, these drivers still got time, 3 minutes left. That's enough to go for one push warm-up lap and go for a solid quali lap. Maybe even have a second stab at it, but you know, it's getting to that point.
Yep.
Michael Menning in the picture-in-picture, currently up 3/10. Very stylish for sometimes good, sometimes shit motorsports.
Incredible looking car. As is Mr. Sirs here. Designed by Chilcutt himself. He crosses over and takes P10 for the moment. He did the same exact lap time as Fosley just in front of him.
That's impressive. Always neat to see that. But when you've got 5/10 splitting over 20 drivers, I think that's bound to happen.
Oh yeah. Now Kerstetter coming around the last corner. His delta's looking okay. And by okay, I mean it just might be enough to go ahead and put him on pole, and it does.
7,500ths clear, a 34.682.
That's an impressive time.
Very impressive time.
I reckon there's good odds that we might see a better one before this is over, as I mean, he himself will get 2 more laps if he fueled up right.
But does he have the tires?
Does he on this track? Maybe not. Switch over to Mr. Sirs. He's now coming towards the last corner of his lap, and he's got a green delta.
Yeah, just over a tenth and a half. Losing a little bit. Coming through the last corner.
Yeah, lost a little bit there and just not carrying enough speed through it, but it's still going to be enough to improve him up to P7. He's going to give it another go.
Chill cut in the picture-in-picture, a little bit of deja vu. Same looking car, same position. Up 3/10 coming into the penultimate corner.
Let's see what he's got going on.
Down towards the line.
Oh, he's going to move from P21
to P3.
All the way up to P3.
Best of the rest, I guess you could say. The best best lap time that's more than a tenth off pole.
Right. For now. Timothy Flanger is massively improving as he's now approaching his final corner. It's almost 3/10 up, and if he sticks this, he might improve a little bit more. Gets right around 3/10 up, and he's going to cross the line. Feeling pretty good as he moves up to E2. What a lap by him to finish his timeout. Kerstetter's still on his final lap that we mentioned earlier.
And still pushing. I mean, a little bit down now, but
yeah,
he saw the flags, he saw people in the pits and said, I don't care. I'm going still.
I think he might recognize that he might not have to push too hard on this lap. At the moment, Spangler's the only one who might challenge him, as he's the only one who's even a little bit green. Kerstetter goes completely red. He's not going to improve.
Spangler shakes his head no.
Yeah, Spangler shakes no, and doesn't look like he's going to improve now, so that is going to wrap up our grid. Kerstetter, of course, with the fastest lap of 34.682. Following him is going to be Flamger, Griffith, Chilcutt, and Spangler. A couple of other fast guys who were very, very close at the end.
My apologies, was trying to collect a little bit of data there. Yeah, there's a few people who look like they had the opportunity to charge, but I think that's just this track. I mean, the tires are in that low PSI part of the window, they got that grip, but as soon as they warm up, you realize that, nah, these don't have it left.
Yep. Yeah, you could tell by the end, only a few people even had a chance to improve their deltas, just because of how rough this track is on tires. I love this angle that we're getting here to look at these liveries, by the way.
Agreed.
The Shark.
Great little side shot.
Shark might very well be my favorite. Maybe.
It's definitely up there.
Chilcutt's looks great, of course. That big NASCAR number on the side. Spangler's just looks wild with that purple print in the back.
Mm-hmm. You know, when watching the livery reveal, I was worried about how that'd look on track, thinking it would be better in the showroom, but a lot of that detail is maintained.
Yeah, I thought the same about the Stallworth one and all those other Mercedes that look similar to this, but I like it. I like the way this looks on track. Beachy looking nice with the flag on the side. Another one with big NASCAR numbers. Looking great. Really cool design on this Lamborghini that Minning's in. Got another Shark back there. Got a car with flames on it, because why not, right?
Of course, gotta be.
Normally I might take this time to talk about the standings and, you know, what kind of implications this race might have given quali, but since it's the start of the season and it's race 1, we don't have any standings to talk about, so maybe we just say who's going to be top in the standings after this race. Who do you think?
You know, I really have no idea. The D1 class is typically the highest skill set of drivers within SRA. But unfortunately, lately, they have come into this tendency of also producing a lot of incidents.
Yep.
In a track like this, that could leave the door open for somebody who's sitting back a lot of positions. So I really don't know. Like, if it's going to be clean, assuming it's clean, I'm going to say it's Kerstedter's race to lose. I feel like the McLaren will be better to its tires than the Lamborghini will.
Agreed.
But if it's a mess, I think we're going to have a champion motorsports driver win. And I'm going to leave it there. Because we got 3 inside that top 15, top 20 mix.
That we do. 3 in the top 15. And, yeah, I'm excited to see what they can do, especially Chilcutt. I would argue the same, that any of these guys in the top 6, maybe even the top 7, we saw just how capable they are in that quali session. We saw just how fast they can be. And given the circumstances and what could very well happen in a race on a track like this, it could be any one of those guys' race.
Completely agreed. Just before we go too wide here, I'm going to try and speed read our ads here. A huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as our main sponsors, such as Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favorite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. A big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced heads-up display to change the way you experience ACC. And To Go Setups, premium esports setups for everyone. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level.
Very well done.
Look at that. We're in the last corner.
Great timing. We're going to come around the last corner here and see what goes on between our top 3. That's going to be Kerstetter, Flomger, and Griffith. And I'm going to agree that this really is Kerstetter's race to lose, given that everybody behind him is nice. We'll see exactly how this shakes up, as we're about to be off and away.
Give it all you can.
Does look like Kerstetter got a good start. And he's going to be winning the braking zone into turn 1. So far, so clean-ish, other than a little touch to Chilcutt by Spangler. Chilcutt's going to lose the position to him. You almost wonder if Spangler's going to be trying to give that back or not.
Yeah, a little bit of accordion effect in turn 1 in the back here as well. A few people looking to try and take some high lines, low lines, look for overtakes. Our flame-filled Ferrari just took the high line and got at least 2 positions there. That looked to be Simmons.
Oh yeah, very nice by Simmons.
Overall clean start to the race.
Looking absolutely fantastic so far. Pretty amazingly clean, other than that one little touch up by around P4, P5.
The pit is now open.
Oh, and we have had 2 cars come together. Marquez in the back here.
Oh yeah.
Stay up front. Just a little bit of braking zone action at the kink. Very well done from all the cars coming through to avoid that spun Mercedes.
Chilcutt rejoins there after it looks like he might have had a little bit of a lag issue and the person behind him taps him. After that little dance, Lomger and Kerstetter have just completely pulled away from the rest of the pack. Those two guys are seemingly 2 seconds or more ahead of Spangler and Griffith back here.
Yeah, they seem to be making one of the only gaps in the field right now. Everybody else is just tenths apart. We've had one person jump. We've had a few people jump to the pits now, actually. Nordstrom appeared to be the first one jumping in for the pit window. Opened 2.5 minutes into the race.
Yeah, that's super early pit window is new here this season, and you already see quite a few drivers taking advantage of it.
55 minutes, at least 1 liter of fuel, no mandatory tire change. It's a track like this, it's a little bit of, do you want to get some clean air? Do you want to stay with the mix and just try and capitalize on track position? It's a new season, try out some new tactics. As we've had 2 cars come together in turn 9, Dan Good and I'm gonna say Baremba, it looks like, as they've both lost a few positions here. As this gaggle now comes towards the hairpin.
3 wide.
3 into 1, and they made it work.
Somehow it worked.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a wild moment, to be honest.
And that's Zandvoort, man, in a nutshell. Like, one person makes an off, all of a sudden you've got 4 cars on top of each other trying to go through a hallway.
Oh, looks like... Okay. No yellow flags, they're just going into the pits.
Yeah, that pit entry being on the straightaway does love to trip yellow flags.
Although Chilcutt is yellow flagged as he appears to be beached.
And is gone.
And is gone. Calls it for the night.
I'm gonna assume that was some major lag issues there. Just trying to get himself out of the way, because nobody else seemed to be involved in that either.
Yep, we saw a little bit of bouncing around from him earlier, so that's probably what it was.
Spect and Quig are into the pits.
In the top 10, only maybe 2 or 3 of the drivers here are in any kind of battle. A lot of gaps in the top 10 so far.
As soon as you look outside the top 10, things get very tight though. Looking over at those that have pitted, taking in some of our early data, the fastest 5-second stop is 27 seconds. Slowest being 30. So 27 to 30 is our gap when we get to the point of looking at our leaders and some of our top guys start pitting.
Yep. Good catch.
Right now, if a leader was to pit, he would fall all the way back to 22nd.
By the way, fastest lap of the race so far is going to be Kerstetter. He's up there in the lead. His fastest lap is a 35.6. Robinson's relatively close to that with a 35.7. Here in this mid-pack race, we've got Rimba, Good, Meeks, and Wilson all kind of duking it out together. These guys have been keeping it significantly closer than a lot of the rest of the field.
And I noticed on your...
But
oh, never mind. We've got a battle.
we've got a battle here for P7 as Matt Lehman takes it. from
up
Robinson.
the inside. Very well done.
That might leave Robinson open to some kind of move by Bosley as they approach the main straight. I think Fosley might be close enough here with enough drive. No. That Lambo is just too fast for that other Lambo.
It's tough when you're racing somebody in the same machinery. It's straight up driver on driver fight.
Marimba is extremely close here to Dan Good. Has been for quite some time now. Looks like he's gonna stay tucked in there. Gonna try to get even closer here so that he can try for a move on the hairpin, possibly. Not quite close enough. Right here is where we just might see some action between these guys. Is Marimba gonna look up the inside? Not quite close enough.
Nordstrom just pushing Victor Diaz around the racetrack right now.
Those two are guys who've pitted. And on screen we see Marimba going into the sand, getting a little bit beached. Turn one, unfortunately for him. It's going to rejoin P13.
Small errors are going to cost you big here.
Oh yeah.
Pace early is showing to be very, very close.
Looks like Travis Robinson was taken by Majid and Good. I wonder if he had a little bit of an off-track excursion there. It's pretty likely.
It's quite possible, and it's left him right in the grasps of CJ Meeks as well. He's going to try and swing to the outside for a different line, set himself up for the long left-hander, but not really going to have the room to switch back on the Lambo because he's too busy trying to fight the car ahead.
He's getting extremely close here and gets alongside for that right-hander, but not able to stick there for the next.
Yeah, you gotta have a lot of pace to go around the outside there, but
Oh yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's just a little bit of getting in the other driver's head too, you know, make them have to think about how they're gonna take the corner differently, make them check up more, and then they make a mistake, and now it's yours. So we see another driver peel off into the pits. That's Robinson, first of the top 10, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. Now JD Daniel has crept up on Meeks.
Picture in picture, Diego Fimbres Casas and Gomer Wilson gonna go side by side into turn one as somebody's coming out of the pits as well. Wilson elects to check up. That's Robinson on his way out. That would have been a hairy way to end your pit stop. But now he has to deal with Diego, so that's, I mean, that's kind of hairy as it is.
Yeah, and I bet he's hoping he can just peel ahead of them a little bit maybe and won't have to worry about them behind him, so he can just put down good times. And you're getting even closer to Meeks there, as Meeks is starting to fall off of Dan Good. He's probably hoping that Sparks will give Daniel a challenge and maybe that guy will leave him alone.
Possibly. Oh, as Travis makes a mistake and he's going to let Diego go through. Diego was just glued to his bumper and Gomer was starting to fall away, but I don't know. Just a little bit of understeer, it looked like, in the braking zone. Missed his mark.
Nordstrom loses a position to Diaz and Mercer.
Yeah, Mercer went around the outside of both of them coming into the last two corners there, it seemed. And just swooped on through.
I was a little confused there, like, wait, what happened? Back now to John Sparks as he's getting even closer to JD Daniel. JD Daniel's starting to fall off of Meeks, just like I prophesized. Now Daniel's starting to catch back up to Meeks. Maybe I'm not such a great prophet. Sparks still sticking on, though.
You get some good advantage from being in slipstream, but it really does take away that aero efficiency.
Oh, yeah.
We don't get much with the GT3 cars, but it still affects that front tire grip.
You see Daniel up ahead using his left blinker. I bet Sparks is thinking, I wish you'd get out of my way.
As he starts to get closer here, will he look? No. Possibly into the next corner, as it seems he's really starting to gain in these braking zones.
Yeah, I keep thinking to myself, oh boy, he's getting close. Looks like he's about to go for a move. But then I think, where would this move happen? Turn 1. That's the only one I can think of.
That's the safe option, man. There's a lot of places you can stick a nose in, but is it gonna work? Is it safe? Are you both gonna finish the race? Looks like Nordstrom now looks to the inside as Diaz goes off into the grass. Diego's gonna come through as well.
I think John Sparks is very likely gonna stick a nose into turn 1 here. Doesn't
Agreed,
quite
but
get it though.
have the gap.
Somehow, he was less than a 10th behind Daniel going into that.
Diaz just tumbling like a rock right now in the picture-in-picture. Lost another position to Wilson. Now he's got Dan Grandmere Rose right on his bumper.
You can see all of that action in the picture-in-picture, as that is just a whole train of cars.
Yeah, south of P20, the action is really going.
Yeah, it is. We'll come back to this battle between Sparks and Daniel, as they have, I can confirm, peeled off of Meeks. Or rather, Meeks has peeled off of them and is now 2 seconds ahead. We'll come back to them. For now, we'll go over to Michael Minning in P19 as he is looking to take P18 from Mr. Sir. It's just half a second ahead of him at the moment. Manning still just sticking right around half a second behind Mr. Sir. Between these two guys, both super proficient drivers, so I'm willing to bet all they're trying to do is be close enough or far enough away coming out of that final corner in order to just kind of lock in their position.
Exactly. You don't have to be the best everywhere, just in the places where it matters.
Right. Mr. Sir at the moment, about 3 seconds behind Griffith, who is extremely fast on track tonight and is leading those who've pit. I don't know whether he's quite provisionally in a pseudo P1 or not, but I can tell you that he is leading those who've pit.
He started in P3, so he would have been the first to pit. Currently sitting 38.8 seconds back from the leader, so he would be sitting P4 actually.
Very nice.
So he's technically lost a spot right now with the early pit stop.
Oh yeah. I wonder if he got challenged at all, or if, you know, maybe Spangler's just that fast. By the way, coming back to Sparks and Daniel, they keep ending up being so close to each other into turn one, but just ahead of them we see somebody come off. Is that Matt Lehman? No. It was Meeks. TJ Meeks went into the grass and the sand and tumbled down just a few spots.
Well done to keep the car pointed straight. I've gone off there a few times practicing, and it's not too much fun.
No, and you know it's significantly better than not being able to get back on track. Sam Reck rejoining the track just after he has wrecked. Also able to rejoin without losing too much, so. Simmons creeping up on Meeks.
Victor Diaz still being a little bit of a grocery stick down in 25th fall. He's fallen 2 seconds back from Gomer Wilson and still has 3 drivers glued to his rear seat.
Yeah, I have a feeling he is just defending. As I'll flip over and we can see just how close that BMW of Mia Rose is to Victor Diaz. It's not a comforting sight seeing the front end of those BMWs in your rear view, I gotta say.
Oh yeah, the car is massive. As Simmons has got past Meeks.
Saw somebody sitting on the side of the road there.
Who can it be?
Not sure we didn't get a yellow.
Gotta love when you're trying to be a good broadcaster, but the game just doesn't give you any information on what's going on.
It's okay. I'm sure they were just in the grass for one moment and didn't lose any positions. Let's go with that.
Exactly. They were just picking some daisies.
Yeah. Stopping to smell the roses. As a little update, in the top 10, Fazli Majid is the only one who is, well, now, oh, okay. He's the only one close to another guy in the top 10. Oh, other than John Sparks is still right on the back of Josh Daniel. Or sorry, JD Daniel. Looks like just behind Sparks is maybe somebody who has been lapped or is lapping. Maybe it's just somebody who's pit already.
Either way, we're not even halfway into this race, and it feels like it's been 45 minutes. There's been a lot of shenaniganery, and just these trains feel like they've been going on forever.
Oh yeah. It makes me just look forward to tomorrow's race even more, you know?
Totally.
The Zandvoort pseudo endurance, mental endurance.
It's like the British tracks. They're just so painfully small that it feels like it goes on forever.
Couldn't agree more. We've done almost 15 laps now. John Sparks getting really close to Daniel again. Not quite close enough. Still got Ray behind him, who is down a lap, but very desperately wants to unlap himself.
And he's definitely got the pace to do it. He's hanging right with him.
Oh,
Just waiting for the right chance. In a track like this, I mean, I don't think you're going to get one.
Not very many. Not unless somebody's very nice. We'll take another break from John Sparks and go take another look at Mr. Sir as he's following Griffith closely behind. Earlier we said Griffith was leading those who have not pit, and that Mr. Sir was 3 seconds behind him. Now he's less than a second behind him and might just be gunning to take over the title of leading those who've not pit.
Yeah, and it seems to be that Griffith's pace has fallen off a bit. He's lost about 1.2 seconds to Durant's in front of him in the process of Mr. Sir getting closer. So we'll see if that was a little bit of tire management or if it was lack of tire.
We will see indeed. We're going to check on John Sparks again as he's heading into the main straight, getting extremely close to Daniel. Might have an opportunity here against that Lamborghini on the straight, but doesn't seize it.
Gets really close under the braking zone there.
I'm surprised at how well that Lamborghini is walking away, and even though that Ferrari has such a good slipstream just behind him. It's a fast car.
Definitely is. And I mean, I haven't tried the Ferrari around here, but I wonder if maybe it needs a little bit more aero, a bit more rear wing. just to keep it planted.
Might. Of course, now at the moment, Mia Rose has fallen off of Victor Diaz just a bit and is now getting the BMW in your rear view treatment, but from a Mercedes.
Yes, my average commute to work. Nordstrom now knocking on the trunk of Mercer, looking to break out of the 20s and towards P19.
Oh yeah, he's following Mercer super closely. Speaking of scary sights to see in your rear view, I think the wide open mouth of a shark might be up there.
Agreed. It's I'm gonna assume playing off of the, I don't know what series that race is in, but the Porsche that everyone's seen with the similar livery. Menacing.
Nordstrom thought about it, or just maybe thought he'd fake Mercer out a little bit by just taking one little peek up the inside into turn one and then sliding right back in line. I have a feeling a lot of these drivers who are close to the rear ends of other drivers are getting a little frustrated. They probably all think the same thing. And that is, dang, I'm so much faster than this guy. Wish he'd just move out of my way.
I can agree. I definitely think some of the drivers are getting that feeling, but from the way some of these tandems have been driving, it almost seems like I'm gonna intentionally sit in your slipstream so long as you're fast enough to keep us away from the car behind.
Yeah.
Oh, up the inside with contact.
He does.
Backs out of the
Almost-
move, but that's gonna leave it open for Diego to bring himself into the mix now.
Yeah, and I'm surprised Diego didn't take him there, as he looked to have better drive and a little bit of a better position, but the camber on this track is just weird.
I think he knows that the straightaway he's much faster than the Porsche, but still doesn't have enough to get it here.
Yeah,
I
not
don't know.
quite.
Yeah, he may have given up the opportunity.
Yeah, at first I was somewhat surprised at how well that Porsche was hanging to the outside of the hairpin.
We are halfway through, not
And then
over yet.
Somewhat just unstuck. Something happened. But now Diego, still just right behind him, is gonna look to give us some action. Don't count Nordstrom out just yet, though, as he is still just a half second behind Mercer. And we've got a new battle happening in the top 10 with Dan Good just behind Fosley.
Yeah, we're just about to be a minute past the halfway mark, and I think we're gonna start seeing some of the tire wear come into play,
Oh yeah.
especially from those who haven't pitted.
Dan Good continuing to just get awfully close here down that middle of the track. Not quite a straight area.
Dan Good gets a great exit out of the first stage of this hairpin. Fosley's going to keep it parked on the apex and knock off any opportunity for a switchback.
Yep.
Well placed defensively.
Yeah, that was really nice. Dan Good wiggled just enough that he wasn't able to make another move. They're now approaching the final corner of the track. He's going to try to stick as close as he can. Hope that he can use that slipstream to his advantage down into turn 1. He is quite close, but he just decides to jump off into the pits. Now is as good a time as ever, I guess.
I'm wondering if that little quip of the back end was due to the rear tires starting to get too hot, and thought, you know what, let's go give them a break for 30 seconds and let them breathe.
Yeah, on this track, I wouldn't be surprised.
Diego getting a great run through the last corner in the picture-in-picture. It looks like he's going to go for an opportunity here.
Oh, wow.
Travis moves to
Nordstrom.
the inside on the defensive line. Diego
Nordstrom
to the
says,
outside.
Oh, what a defensive maneuver by him. Confidently says, I know you have more drive than me. You're not taking the inside here. Manages to stay ahead because of it.
That's some good racing right there. I don't think Diego expected it, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it happened immediately. Right after they came out of the last corner, he was ready with it.
And with where the pit entry is, you almost don't want to follow the car over there, because even though Nordstrom's pitted, like, I don't know, maybe he's got damage, maybe he's got a flat tire. Like maybe Jeff just told him he popped a tire, and he's darting over into the pits. He's gonna slam on his brakes. You don't want to be right behind that car.
Yeah, definitely do not.
Interested to see if Diego's gonna get another opportunity now. Nordstrom dangerously close to Mercer.
I have a feeling that this is going to be an interesting bout to watch.
Nordstrom to the inside. Oh, and they make contact at the apex.
Yes, they do. Mercer falls down
Mercer
one
is not going to be
position.
happy about that one.
Yep, after being touched off track, Nordstrom takes the position from him. Now Diego's just behind him as Nordstrom goes to the inside once more. Gets Diego on the outside.
Is he going to show Diego the sand? No.
Clean
Well
driving, but
kept.
yeah, not. Oh boy. Mercer gets into the grass. It's really hard to control there. Because of that, I think Nordstrom had to take evasive action, or thought he had to take evasive action, and
This is going to get interesting.
oh boy, into the fast right-hander we go with Nordstrom on the inside. He's going to brake just a little bit better and force Diego to slot in behind him. Oh, I would not want to be in the seat of one of those cars doing that.
No. Completely agreed there. While all that was going on, Fasley jumped into the pits.
Very nice. I'll point out, you know, there Mercer ended up taking a position. He kind of flew off track and then somewhat jumped back on. And
in the background there, Diego made a mistake, lost the position to Travis Robinson.
yes, he did.
This whole group has put themselves in a you make a mistake, you catch a big L
Oh yeah.
situation.
Yeah, this has been honestly an excellent fight to watch so far. And that's just between, that's going to be between, at the moment, it's Mercer, Nordstrom, Robinson, Diego, Wilson, and Diaz. All of those guys are just in this train. Mercer currently leading them. Nordstrom knocking on the door. wants to take his spot back. Griffith is still leading those who've not pit. Mr. Stir is still just a half second behind him, trying to take that spot for himself. And I'm curious, provisionally, where Griffith lies. You want to whip up some quick maths for us? He's currently about 47 seconds behind the leader.
He would be 5th or 6th. Currently losing positions at an astonishing rate.
Yeah, agreed. It might be. It might be just from him needing to defend against Mr. Sir. Actually, I'm willing to stake that might just be the case. Mr. Sir's been knocking on that door all race. He's probably causing Griffith to slow up just a bit to make sure he doesn't take that spot from him.
Agreed, and also the lead driver's pace too. Like, can't knock that. Those guys have been. There's a reason it's been multiple second gaps for most of the race so far, except Spangler, who's almost on the door of 1 second behind Flamger.
Yep, I definitely agree, but the other side of that is that the leaders, the top 5, have relatively clean air. So those guys really have been able to just kind of hot lap, while these people who are at the front of those who tried an undercut, I don't think it's been working out for them, as they've been racing just a little bit. I have a feeling Mr. Sir's going to be half a second behind him for quite a while. And then back here, look at that train going down into the final corner. Mercer leads Nordstrom, who leads about 6 or so drivers behind him, as you can see them all going down the main straight, single file. Gosh, those wave liveries on the Audis just look so good.
They do, very clean. Oh, and Sparks gets real loose on the turn in there. Almost takes out the blue flag behind him.
Ooh. Looks like it wasn't too bad, though. He has fallen off about a second off of Daniel now, as he's 2 seconds behind, with Simmons just behind him. Or really, Simmons is behind a blue car who's just behind him. A blue flagged car, that is. What a cool livery, man. They really decided, you know what? Flames. Put fire on my car. It's going to look awesome. And they were right. Danny Durance heads into the pits. And we're back to this train of cars going down the main straight. No big switch ups there yet. Just under 20 minutes left in the race. Of course, Kerstetter's still leading. By the way, not only is Kerstetter leading, but he is 8 seconds, over 8 seconds ahead of P2. That man is putting on an absolute masterclass lapping this track. And nobody save Flomger is really even close to his times. Really, even Flomger is lapping currently about 3 to 4 tenths slower per lap. He's the next fastest guy there is, so heck of a drive from Kerstetter so far.
Oh, little bit of an accordion effect there.
Oh, somebody goes deep. Was it Fosley? Was it Rose? I think it was Rose went deep into the into that hairpin and is going to lose out on what seems to be 2 positions. That being Dan Cran and Fosley going ahead and getting past. I wonder if there was any contact there, or maybe they just missed the mark. As Dan Cran's gonna force his way up the inside and leave Rose just a little bit open to Meeks, who doesn't quite get a move done, but is slotted right in her path. And oh my gosh, significantly better run out of the hairpin, and we're gonna have a moment leading into that fast right-hander as Dan Cran just barely gets ahead in time. Is able to take that single file line. Luckily for Rose, they keep their position. Meeks doesn't jump at the opportunity quite yet.
In your picture-in-picture, that is Spangler and Flamger. Spangler currently lapping 0.3 seconds faster. Is absolutely rocketing up to the back of that Lamborghini.
And that's a fight for P2. So 2 of the guys in the provisional podium positions are going at it. Speaking of going at it, Diego is just following Robinson all over the track. Actually looks up the inside, but decides not to. Whew, he was close. Robinson's gonna get nice enough drive that he can just keep his position for now and live to fight another day in that position. Nordstrom 2 positions ahead, still just following up on Mercer, trying to take that position back. While this group of like 8 people continue to battle it out, let's flip it over to Spangler and give these podium guys some of the spotlight as we get to see them race. Battle it out for P2.
And in the last 14.5 minutes here, we're going to see it all start to pop off. Is it going to happen before they pit, after they pit? Are they going to be the last 2 to pit? We're going to find out.
I'm going to guess that they're going to be the last 2 to pit. Because unless Flomger thinks, you know, Spangler's just holding me up, I'm going to go ahead and pit. Which I don't think is going to happen, because right now, Flomger's best opportunity to keep P2 is to keep P2 and to keep Spangler behind him, as he knows Spangler's currently lapping just a little bit better. So I think the McLaren has superior tire wear to the Lamborghini and probably feels just a little bit nicer to drive right now. Both of those guys kicking up dust and wiggling a little bit on track. And I think we're seeing a little bit more of the same here as they are just so close to each other, but aren't finding or forcing many opportunities.
No,
Gets
they
really
only want
close
to
there,
do it
but-
once.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's watch what they do into the final corner here, whether maybe you can get close enough to make some kind of thing happen on the main straight. Doesn't quite look like it. Nordstrom, meanwhile, is getting very close to Mercer again. 2/10 off. We have lost a few people this race so far. I don't remember the exact count that we entered with, so I don't know quite what the tally is, but there's been some attrition. I think we lost Spect, for example.
Ooh, unfortunately we have. I know we lost Chilcutt to some connection issues.
Those Champion Motorsport drivers not having too much luck tonight.
Nope, nope. It's the last time I predict one's gonna win. Sir goes up the inside of the kink on Griffith to secure that position.
Very
As
nice
a
move
leading
from Mr.
pit.
Sir.
Leading pit driver.
He's taken that coveted spot. And now we can say it. He is the man leading those who've pit. Griffith's sticking right on him though, and I'm wondering if he's gonna give it another go, or does Mr. Sir have enough pace in his pocket to just pull ahead? He's got 6 seconds of clean air in front of him, so if he's got pace in his pocket, he might be pretty dang happy to use it.
I don't even think it's got to be in the pocket at this point. Like you said, clean air in front of him, and no real issues. Like the Porsche is going to be fast in sectors 2 and 3, just as fast as the other cars, but I don't think it's fast enough to make up the ground on the straightaway.
We think a pit stop. Oh. A little bit of a fake yellow flag happened there on screen for a moment. That made my heart drop. Let's watch someone else. Spengler still following Lamger, just half a second behind, fighting for P2. Do you remember approximately how long we said a pit stop would take? Was it 30 seconds? 27 to 30 seconds?
27 to 30 seconds.
Got it.
Yeah, so when Ed pits, for example, he should comfortably come out in P4.
Yep.
Which will be, interesting.
Yes, it will.
With a almost 11-second gap to P2 now.
That guy is fast. Spengler has been helping him out a little bit with that, though, I'm sure. Looks like, for the moment, when all is said and done, I think Mr. Sir might be sitting in about 4th place once everybody's pit. Although,
Should be.
it appears that Michi has taken the title from him as he comes out of the pits and is just in front of Mr. Sir. Michi is now the leader of those who've pit.
He's gonna get those tires fired up fast, because you know Mr. Sir's going to be charging after him.
Oh yeah, and I can tell Mr. Sir's gotten slowed down just a little bit by him here. So he's already right on him, and Griffith getting a second chance here as well. It's going to be interesting just to see who has control over their car with those tires here at the end of this race. I have a feeling that this track's been brutal on them.
Well, it's definitely not your friend. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
I haven't done any long stints myself, but my vague memory of the last time we were here, it was not pretty.
Mr. Sir almost
a little bit loose.
Yeah. Michi too almost has Mr. Sir stick his nose in. Sir's extremely close here on that fast right-hander. Just keeping the pressure dialed in on Michi. Ooh, takes a look up the inside but doesn't commit.
Enough to make Mert miss the apex, and this is going to give him a chance with a drive here towards the chicane.
Oh yeah, he's got great drive, looking towards the inside, thinks better of it. Tucks in and goes around the roundabout. How close can he stick to him when they get to the main straight? It's close, looking up the inside. Doesn't quite commit there.
Not quite close enough yet.
Meantime, Spengler still very close to Flamger. Still a half second behind him. Still wants to take P2 from him. The guys on track have been doing low 37s, by the way. In case you were wondering what the tire situation was looking like at the moment, most of the track are doing 37s. Most of the field, rather.
It's It's about a second drop off. 2 seconds.
Yeah, in a lot of these races, we see the tires kind of bounce back and have a second wind. This track doesn't appear to be one of those. As doesn't really look like anybody's putting down real flyers, except for, of course, Kerstetter, whose last lap was a 36.3.
Yeah, because, like, why not, right?
Right. Why not? Duran went into the pits. He's coming out at some point. Maybe around P27, P28, P26. Nope, 27. Oh, my heart skipped a
Same
beat.
here. I was like, why is there a yellow flag on the leader?
Yeah, but luckily for him and everything, it's just because they're going into the pits. Same thing happened with Spangler and Flamger, and my heart skipped a beat again. Alright. For a few seconds, we'll jump over to Nordstrom. You can see he's still on the back of Mercer, still trying to take that position back. He's got Diego right behind him. Or rather, he's got Robinson behind him, who's got Diego behind him, who's got Wilson behind him, who's got Diaz behind him, who has a lot of clean air behind him. Carpenter went into the pits.
Everything's square between the leaders coming out of the pits. Gaps are all the exact same.
Yep. Back to Spangler and Flamger. They came back onto the track in order. Spangler once again just about 5/10 behind.
Pit window is now closed.
Got a minute left of the race. Excited to see how it continues to shake up. Down in P20, Dan Cran is just right on the back of Fosley, as I'm sure he's feeling the benefit of the superior tire wear.
Yeah, as that gaggle of cars came out of the pits, there was a huge collection of people showing up at turn 1 as well, so it made for a whole big shuffle.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people ended up on top of each other. We've got a new fight here between Sparks, Wilson, Diaz, and Simmons.
We have fights kind of all over the place at the moment. Dan Cran's on the back of Fosley on our
Right,
screen.
man, the leader is on the final lap.
Spangler's
Final
still
push.
pushing to try to take P2 away from Flamger.
As those 3 drivers enter the final lap of the race.
And here we've got Daniel trying to get Nordstrom, who's trying to get Mercer still. Behind Daniel, we see Robinson getting really close. He's going to have a hard time coming out of that final corner to challenge him. Nobody quite able to make a move into turn 1, it looks like. Spangler still very close to Flamger. It's going to be exciting to see whether he tries to make a move as he gets alongside him.
Try and stick it around the outside, but
Yeah.
not going to work there.
Well, he forces him off the apex just a little bit, which might give him a chance with better drive here as he's looking up the inside. Doesn't commit, though. And it doesn't look like he'll get a chance here into the final corner. Excellent defense from Flanger. Kerstetter, of course, pulling away and winning. And Spangler getting close, but not quite close enough as he follows Flamger across the line for P2 and P3. Then coming across, we'll have Stallworth, followed by Michi, followed by Sir, followed by Griffith, followed by Minning, followed by Good, followed by Mercer, and then Nordstrom following Mercer across the line for P11. Daniel following him, followed by Robinson and Diego and Wilson. John Sparks, Diaz, Simmons, Majid, Cran, Rose, Meeks, Sand, Carpenter, Chan, Quigg, Duran, Durantz, Marquez, Rec, and Bray. Huge props to Kerstetter in that race, dude.
Absolutely.
He blew the lid off of this track with just madman times. Even when he was 12 seconds ahead, he was putting down times that would rival my absolute best.
Yeah, man. These when we say these D1 drivers are the top of the top, we're not. This guy's got some very, very skillful pace. Even as the tires fell away from them, they got cars in their mirrors, sweat dripping down their hands.
Oh, yeah.
Enough.
They are some fast guys. I'm impressed. I hope the viewers are impressed. They should be. And let's go ahead and look to get in touch with these podium finishers. Who do you think we should start with, Josh?
Literally anybody that we can find, considering there's nobody in the post-race review chat. I've got our winner here, Mr. Kerstetter.
We do have Ed. Ed, welcome to the booth.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Not too bad. We saw you put on just an absolute masterclass today on track. How are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Had a couple not so good events over the last couple weeks, so pretty much all self-inflicted. So it's good to put one together here.
No kidding. And put one together you did. Most of that race you were near 10 or over 10 seconds ahead of the next fastest car, and like we just said, you were still putting in times that were, 3 to 7 to 8, 9 tenths faster than the next guy, and nothing short of impressive from you today.
Thanks, appreciate it.
I was wondering, did you have to do any tire management out there, or did you notice them start to fall away from you in the end, or was it just kind of steady sailing throughout the race?
In the beginning, with who was the Lambo behind me? Was it Griffin or Flemger? Was it, or
Yep.
Griffin?
Flamger.
Flemger.
Flemger.
He was putting on a decent amount of pressure there in the beginning, so I didn't know what kind of pace he had. So ran it a little bit harder there in the beginning, and then as soon as I saw him sort of drop back a little bit, kind of went a little bit into tire management mode, trying to save the rears on exit.
Fair enough. Well, considering you did that and you were still the fastest car on track by 3 to 5 tenths is pretty darn impressive, man. Great job
Thank
out
you.
there.
Thanks.
Yeah. Once again, congrats on the win tonight. Super impressive. Looking forward to seeing what you do next week.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.
You
You
got
too.
it.
With us now, we have our third place finisher, Jeff Spangler.
Jeff, welcome to the booth.
Hello, guys.
How was that one, man? We saw you slowly but surely creeping up on the back of Flamger there towards the mid-end point of the race, and you just stuck at 5 tenths. What was that like inside the car?
Well, first, I got to say that was probably the most fun and exciting races I think I've ever run. Um, yeah, I mean, Ed obviously just drove off in the sunset, and Timothy and I were kind of penduluming. I for a long time I was over second, and then I just kind of slowly whittled it down, and then I'd make a mistake, he'd make a little mistake, and then got really close there when it kind of oh man, I can't speak, when it came time to pit, and that was a real fun last lap. Anytime you can go side by side with someone for a podium spot on the line on the last lap in the last sector, so it's great fun. So yeah, I feel like I've kind of been out in the wilderness a little bit with SRAs the last season and a half, so feels good to be here for a new season and have a great result.
Hell yeah, man. That was a great race, and yeah, that was thought you were gonna have the chance to stick it around the outside, but I don't know. Camera work doesn't do too good. Was there contact there or no?
Yeah, there was a little bump.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, I'm trying to be as aggressive as I can, and he's trying to, be as aggressive as he can. So no harm, no foul. Yeah, if I was going to get him, it would have been the turn before that, coming down the hill.
Yep.
But I wasn't quite close enough to stick it in there. So, but yeah, it was a great race.
Great run by you. Congrats on P3. We will
Yeah.
look forward to your next race.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Shout out to Madhouse Setup Man Ryan Yee, another one for the collection here. Car felt great, did everything I wanted to do. Another shout out to Dan Good. I think he's going to be in here pretty soon with a silver podium. So Madhouse is off to a good start for the season. Thanks,
Woo
guys.
woo. Ha-
Awesome stuff.
Have a good one.
See ya. All right.
And looking things over, I don't see Timothy.
I don't see
So
Flamger either.
maybe off in his own Discord or in a private channel somewhere. Not gonna force him out, you know. Some people may not even know that we do this. It's every season we gotta let somebody know.
Well, Timothy, if you're out there, congrats on your P2. Awesome defensive driving out there, and honestly, good job crossing the line with what I'm sure were just absolutely shot tires.
Yeah, good job out there. Can imagine those things like Cody said, there were just the Baldini specials by the time that race was over.
Do we want to look for a silver winner?
I don't have that stuff written down.
Well,
So, I mean, realistically, with the reshuffling that goes on after the second race, some of these silvers with where they finished are gonna end up being golds. Some of these golds are gonna end up being silvers. Once that gets finalized, we'll I think assert the halves. You know what I mean?
oh yeah. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to be seeing quite a bit of shuffling as plenty of those silver guys noticeably had a lot of pace, especially what we saw in qualifying.
For sure. And we still got tomorrow to see. I'm sure some of with the way the practice leaderboards have been looking, some of the Division 2 drivers have pace capable of putting them in Division 1, so who
Yep.
knows what's going to happen.
I see, well, Mert Michi, he took P5 and won silver. Is he around? Maybe we could give him a little chat. Nobody's left in the cooldown room. And yeah, I'm not seeing Michi in there, so I think that'll be it for the interviews today. Let me double check on something. Yeah, none of the rest of the top guys are waiting around for us, so we'll go ahead and just call it there. Wonderful racing tonight. I could not be more thrilled and more excited for what's to come next week and in all the following weeks until the end of the season. Where are we racing next week, Josh?
Don't ask me. I don't remember. I may have won the prediction series, but No idea. Give me 2 seconds. I will find it. That answer.
Let's hear it.
Do. Why did they not post the schedule in the announcements channel?
I'm going to beat you to it.
You probably are.
It's Coda.
Coda.
Next week we get Coda. That's
I'm
going to
not
be
excited for that.
it's going to be a good one to watch. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy driving it or not, but we'll see. We got a week. We got over a week.
Exactly. Lots of time.
Anyways, I think that'll be it from us here at SRA. Welcome back to Season 8. Well, we hope you'll stick around.
See you next week and see you tomorrow.
Signing off.
It has been the longest off-season of SRA. The rust has been wiped off and the cars are revved up and ready to go. Welcome to SRA.
We're off and away for SRA.